Hey, what's happening? Good afternoon, good people. What's going on? We back again. We back again. I'm doing these shits earlier in the day because I got more energy to do them earlier in the day instead of waiting just once a week. So, I said to myself, I'm just gonna come on here and talk every day. Why not? What have I got to lose? Right? What have I got to lose, man? Shout out to everybody that's pulled in. Shout out to y'all. I see y'all on the gram. Shout out to everybody on Instagram. Shout out to everybody on Twitter, Facebook, everywhere in the world. We are here. But before I get deep into this show, listen, Detroit, y'all see me, Detroit. We are officially, what are we, one day away? Well, 2 days away. Today is Wednesday. I'm going to be there Friday at the Comedy Bar. Be sure to get those tickets. You can go to LeVarWalker.me to get those tickets. Also, you can hit this QR code. Scan that QR code, y'all, and let me know if that QR code works. This is something new that StreamYard rolled out. So scan that QR code. You can get the ticket. But if that doesn't work, go to LeVarWalker.me. Get those tickets. Detroit, I'm on the way. Come out, see some real comedy, some funny shit. And we're gonna have a good time, man. We're gonna start this show off today. We back in the news, Diddy, they dragging him through the mud once again. It seems as if the judge, they don't want to give him a retrial, they don't want to give him an acquittal, they want to punish him, they want to hang him out to dry. They want to hang him out to dry for whatever reason, even though the man was found primarily not guilty on two of his biggest counts. So the prosecution, and I talked about this yesterday, they want to give him 11 years, and there's no one in history that has gotten 11 years for a Mann Act violation of the transportation of prostitutes, where he didn't even involve himself with the prostitutes. He didn't pimp these guys out. He didn't do anything. And so this judge and the prosecution at the Southern Department of New York, I just think people should be scared. I mean, they are just really like mad at him. I guess they're embarrassed, and this is just not justice. And you just can't be an American. You can't be American to say, yeah, and listen, like I said, I don't condone what he did to Cassie as far as the domestic violence is concerned, but to sit here and just say, yeah, just leave him in there for what? For what? And they don't, you had a shit show for a court case. Your prosecution was basically incompetent. And once again, this trial shouldn't have never went to trial to even be a RICO case. But this is where we're at, and I'm gonna pull some stuff up to see what's looking, man. I see y'all still pulling up in here, man. Shout out to everybody pulling up, man. I appreciate all the love I've been getting, and also too, man. Subscribe to my YouTube page. I'm putting up new content on YouTube every week, man. Like new stand up clips and stuff of that nature, because I'm pulling this shit out of the mud, and I'm not waiting for Hollywood. And there's no Hollywood even wait on. It's dead. So let's see. I'm gonna pull up some stuff in this Diddy trial, and let's see, because y'all know I've been covering this for a minute. And people say you want to, you love you some Diddy and all this shit, but that's not true. I am for fairness. I'm for equality, and I'm for a fair trial. So I think this is it. Matter of fact, I might be able to. I might be able to pull it up. What's Buddy name that was? No. No, I forgot dude's name. Where we was going over the trial. Let me get a Google of that real quick. Let's see what we got here. Okay, this is Billboard. Let's take a look. Let's see what we got, guys. Slow day today. I still got a lot more to talk about, but let's see what we got here. Okay. How much prison time would Diddy get? Experts say it could turn on one tricky question. Diddy will be sentenced on Friday. How much prison time will he get is what legal experts say you need to know. Just over a year after he was first arrested, Sean Diddy Combs will appear in a federal courthouse Friday to be sentenced for his crimes. Though he faced sweeping charges of racketeering and sex trafficking, prosecutors said he coerced women into freak-off sex parties. The jury ultimately convicted him of only 2 lesser prostitution counts, an outcome widely seen as a major victory for the rap mogul. The split verdict means Diddy is no longer facing a life sentence, but how much time will he actually get? And how will the judge decide that question? Billboard turned to the experts to find out. According to Tama Cudman, a veteran defense attorney at the law firm Cudman, Trachin Allo Posner, LLP, much will depend on whether the judge sticks to that limited verdict. Will he focus narrowly on Diddy's actual convictions, or will he be swayed by broader signs that Combs is violent, like the infamous hotel assault video? Evidence of domestic violence has gotten in front of this judge, and he can't just unsee it. The cat's out the bag, Cubman says, but Combs was not convicted of any crimes really associated with that violence, right? Combs was found guilty on 2 counts of violating the Mann Act, a century-old federal crime statute that prohibits transporting people across state lines for prostitution. Those convictions carry no mandatory minimum and a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison. That's far less than if he'd been convicted on a racketeering charge, which could have added another 20 years, or been found guilty of sex trafficking, which alone carries a minimum sentence of 15 years in prison and maximum of life behind bars. The first word on sentencing in any federal case comes from the U.S. Probation Department, which calculates the suggested range of sentences for the judge to consider. In Combs' case, citing a number of enhancements, the probation office says the star should get between 70 and 87 months in prison, more than 7 years behind bars. Wow. Wait a minute. The first word on sentencing in any federal case comes from the U.S. Probation Department, which calculates the suggested range of sentence for the judge to consider. In Combs' case, citing a number of enhancements, the probation office said the star should get between 70 and 87 months in prison, more than 7 years behind bars. Diddy's lawyers say that report grossly overstates the seriousness of his actual convictions and instead are asking for only 14 months, which would see him released almost immediately on time served. They point repeatedly to the jury's rejection of the most serious charges that form the core of the case. Put simply, the jury has spoken, and I'm going to have to agree with the jury. And for you to be an American and disagree with this, you're insane. You're in your feelings, and you need to be objective in the eyes of the law. But prosecutors want the judge to go even further than the recommendations, arguing that Diddy should get more than 11 years in prison, even if he was only convicted on lesser Mann Act counts. The feds say the judge can still take into account decades of abuse by the unrepentant rap mogul when handing down his sentence. When weighing Diddy's prison time, Judge Arun Subramanian will start with the federal sentencing guidelines, a point system that aims to give judges a uniform framework for meting out punishment. More serious offenses carry more points, which can be adjusted up or down based on circumstances. The point total is then combined with the defendant's criminal history to reach a recommended range. After setting the guideline range, the judge is then required to weigh several case-specific factors when considering his final sentence. They include the seriousness of the crime, the history and characteristics of the defendant, the need for deterrence, and the need to keep sentences consistent across different cases. But beyond hard and fast maximums and minimums, federal judges themselves ultimately have final discretion on sentencing. They are the ones to decide the appropriate guideline range, and they are the ones to decide what elements of a case matter most. How much weight to give each of these factors is entirely up to the judge, says Sarah Krisoff, a former longtime Manhattan federal prosecutor, now in private practice at Coles and O'Connor. And ultimately, the judge will figure out a way to fit the sentence he wants to impose within this framework. How will Judge Subramanian apply those rules to Diddy's case? Experts say it could turn on the split nature of the verdict. The fact that while Combs was charged with sprawling criminal case, he was only convicted of far more limited crimes. That is the clear tension in this case, says Goodman, the defense attorney. Until recently, even after a defendant was acquitted of a particular charge, they could still be sentenced for other crimes based on that so-called acquitted conduct. A practice that led to sharp criticism from both lawmakers and Supreme Court justices. But last year, the U.S. Sentencing Commission voted to amend the sentencing guidelines to limit the practice, citing concerns about the perceived fairness of the criminal justice system. At Diddy's trial, prosecutors spent much of the time trying to prove that he had used violence, intimidation, money, and influence to coerce his victims into taking part in the freak-offs. They did so because such conduct is a key legal requirement to prove racketeering or sex trafficking. But jurors rejected. Jurors then rejected those counts. Let's go back over that again. In the court of law, your fate is typically decided by the jury, not the damn prosecution. It's up to that jury. So let's listen to that again. Had Diddy's trial, prosecutors spent much of the time trying to prove that he had used violence, intimidation, money, and influence to coerce his victims into taking part in the freak-offs. They did so because such conduct is a key legal requirement to prove racketeering or sex trafficking, but jurors then rejected those counts and instead only convicted Combs on the few counts that didn't require such proof. As a result, Diddy's lawyers have argued in their post-trial motions that the vast majority of the evidence the government presented at trial was the kind of acquitted conduct that cannot be weighed at sentencing. They explicitly say that includes a video of him assaulting his then girlfriend Cassie Ventura at a Los Angeles hotel, as well as other indictments of violence. What is the point of a jury trial if the defendant can be acquitted but then sentenced as if he had been convicted? His attorney asked the judge in one court filing. Doing so nullifies the entire purpose of a jury. That's real. Unsurprisingly, prosecutors disagree. They say Diddy's lawyers are seeking an unprecedented restriction on sentencing and that the violence seen at the trial is still fair game. The defendant will not be punished for any crimes of which he was acquitted, of course, but punishment for his crimes of conviction must take into account the manner in which he committed them. How Judge Subramanian resolves that argument could make or break Diddy's sentence, but experts say it will be a challenge. It remains unclear how exactly judges must filter out acquitted conduct from their sentencing decision under the new rules, and other sentencing factors like the history of the defendants seem to directly ask courts to look at past violence, something this judge saw in vivid detail at trial. Ostensibly, the judge is only going to sentence the defendant on the counts on conviction, said Chris Hoff, the former prosecutor, but it will be hard for the judge to unhear everything he has already heard about Combs. This judge, to me, should be recused. I'm going to say it again. The judge needs to be, they need to get his ass up off the bench. They need to get his ass up out of there. He obviously, there's some personal vendetta that he has. And I don't know if this is some type of political thing he's doing or what, but I just predict if this judge, who's a lunatic, if the lunatic judge sentences Diddy, Trump will pardon him. He'll get a pardon immediately. Because this is fucked up. It's fucked up. You can't be American and agree with what is happening to this man. You can't be. And I understand that tape of him hurting Cassie, it was horrific. It was terrible. However, domestic violence situations don't require a man to spend his life in jail. This is just the law. And we need to remain objective about that. So, once again, the man is being unfairly tried, if you ask me. Mike Jeffries' Leatherface ass, once again, is on his boat in the Mediterranean with alleged dementia, where he has forgotten about the young men's asses that he took. However, as I've said before, their assholes seem to have a very strong memory of what happened to them. So Trump will more than likely pardon this man. This shit is political, and the prosecution and that judge should be a fucking shame to themselves. What they're doing is just un-American to me. And I'm sorry. If you don't agree with me, if you feel some kind of way about me, well, where I stand on this, and I'm indifferent in regards to Diddy. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't even no fan shit. This is just me being totally analytical and objective. But if you are against that, just unfollow, block me. I really don't give a fuck. But let's move along. Lionel Richie. Lionel Richie said that Michael Jackson was stanking in the studio. Lionel Richie. And let me see if we got any footage of that. And also, let me change this. Let me change my sound real quick. Let me put that on my chat. So Lionel Richie said that Michael Jackson's nickname was Smelly because he was stinking in the he didn't bathe. That's what Lionel Richie said. I didn't say this. Lionel Richie said that. And this is what he says in his memoir. And I have to blow this up because I don't want nothing to pop up on my. So Lionel Richie writes in his new memoir, Truly, how Michael Jackson would often have a bad odor and Quincy Jones called him Smelly. He says Michael got into the habit of wearing the same pants until they were unwearable. Whenever Michael came to visit me, he was wearing whatever, jeans and a t-shirt. And the jeans were either falling off him or too short to even be jeans and well, smelly. Richie says Michael would often be oblivious to the fact that he didn't change his clothes in days due to how much he worked. He also blames the constant touring, Jackson's inability to just shop due to his fame, and dry cleaners stealing his clothes for souvenirs. A lot of people took offense to that. They call Lionel Richie a hater for saying that Michael was stinking. But if Lionel, if Michael was funky around Lionel and he saw him as funky, you might not be funky to everybody. You know what I mean? You might not stink to everybody, but you can't interpret your smell to a person. So you've met a person that was musty. Okay, that person stank. And when people stank, they stank forever. So a lot of people took offense. I don't think Lionel's just telling the truth. If he was funky, it's what it was. And I could kind of see that because Mike worked very, very hard. He danced his ass off. He couldn't go nowhere. Like they said, people would steal his clothes. What would Lionel Richie have to lie about this shit? Lionel Richie is rich as fuck, right? He's just telling the truth. That's it. And people are getting up and he too old for this shit and all that. Listen, the man just saying Mike might have been musty. I'm not saying he was stinking every day, but there were probably times, you know what I'm saying? They was in Thriller. They in the damn studio all day. Quincy called him smelly. So what are we talking about here? I don't know why people got so upset and in their feelings when he said that. And I love Michael. I love Michael, but people, people could have they days, you know what I'm saying? People could be stinking. And that's okay. That is okay. And here's another story. He said, Lionel Richie called him my poor hygiene. He was smelly and claimed he wouldn't change. Well, Mike was very close to his siblings and his mom, but once he went solo, making these monster albums, moves, video, he was in charge of his own ship. His day-to-day life was what you could call eccentric, like an absent-minded professor, but still a kid. Richie said that he and late producer Quincy Jones would make fun of Michael, nicknamed him Smelly. Michael would laugh too, realizing that he was oblivious to the fact that he hadn't changed or washed his clothes for a couple of days or so. And I see that. This man was a genius. You don't make a thriller smelling good. You don't. You don't make a thriller and a bad album and sell 200 million albums. That's you have to do what you have to do. They said Steve Jobs used to stink. And that's okay. You know what I mean? The man was stinking, but he out of that funk, we got a lot of joy. Okay. We had a superstar. Like Michael was so big. Nobody was bigger than Michael Jackson. Nobody. Nobody. Michael Jackson is a measure of fame. People now look at you if you blow up or some shit, if you real big, like, you like Michael Jackson right now. That's the only way they can explain it. Nobody can compare, but I could see that. You know what I mean? You don't make the art that he made by like bathing consistently. You have to be focused. You have to have a very limited noise to action ratio. And the noise could be showering and bathing at times. I like to take a lot of showers because I can't stand the smell myself. Even if, you know what I mean? Like if I feel funky, I got to go wash. I gotta wash. I'm sorry. That's just me. They would gift Mike new jeans. And if anybody has any of that, I would love to know what it smells like. If anybody met Michael Jackson, call us and let me know. Somebody said that his favorite cologne was a Black Orchid by Tom Ford. I have a bottle of that. And they say he smelled warm. But anyway, before we get even deeper, Detroit, I'm on the way. Get those tickets. Tickets are going. Oh, we about a day out, 2 days out, and I'm coming. I'm bringing these jokes, man. So get those tickets. Pull up on your boy. We're gonna have a good time, or as Michael Jackson, James Brown say, a funky good time. I wonder if James Brown was stinking too. Oh, James used to be getting down. You all that sweat and shit coming off James. Woo woo. James was him. He was him. What else I want to talk about today? This was sad. So this man, a man ended up dying before his wedding. The man died 5 months before his wedding, and the wedding venue had refused to return $20,000 of his money. And that's really sad, you know. I cannot believe, and we need to boycott this wedding place. Let me see what we got with that. Let me see what that is. Man dies before wedding. I'm trying to find that. Let's see what they got to say about this, man. And here we have it. That's so sad. What a sad world we live in. Wedding venue allegedly refused to return $20,000 deposit after groom's sudden death. What a sad place. Shout out to Motor Culture. I see you. How can a venue that specializes in the business of love has such a cold, cruel, and compassionless response to this tragedy? The groom's mother wrote. A family in North Carolina is requesting a refund from a wedding venue after their son's sudden death months before the ceremony. Sue Perry noted that her son Chris Perry and his fiancee booked a venue named the Cotton Room, but the Cotton Room has insisted that they cannot refund the deposits paid, although they have done nothing to earn the nearly $20,000 that had been paid to them to date due to Chris's death. Sue alleged, how can a venue that specializes in the business of love, happiness, and weddings have such a cold, cruel, and compassionless response to this tragedy? That's my son's family, fiance, and her family are dealing with. Sue wrote before contacting a local news station. A North Carolina family was fighting for a refund. They kept thousands of dollars deposit fees of groom's sudden death. She continued, the Cotton Room has insisted that they cannot refund the deposit pay, although they have done nothing to earn the nearly $20,000 that have been paid them to date. According to the mother of the deceased, meeting requests to find a solution have been unsuccessful. Leading her and her husband, Bill Perry, to contract WRAL 5 News on your side. That is crazy. Bill, the couple said Chris suddenly collapsed and died on May 12th, just one day before his 33rd birthday. Cedar discovered his body hours later, but they were just so excited. Sue said of Chris and Cedar's outlook on the future after he proposed during a trip in Italy in 2024. Bill accused the Cotton Room of prying off the death of our son. Yeah, that is sad. That's very, very sad. The Cotton Room is a sick place, and we need to call in. I'm about to call them. Y'all want me to? I'm about to call. Fuck this. I'm about to call the Cotton Room in North Carolina because this is sad, and I can't. Where's a phone? They got a phone number. Damn. We gonna call them, y'all. We about to call the Cotton Room. All right. Let's see what happens. Hopefully, y'all can hear this.
This call will be recorded for quality purposes.
Hello? Hello?
Hi, this is Sarah with Partners. How can I help you?
Hey, how you guys doing? I was thinking about having a wedding there.
Okay, great. Do you have a specific date in mind?
We're looking at December, maybe the December 15th.
Okay. What day of the week is that?
I believe it's a Sunday.
Okay, great. We should be available.
Okay, great. Is there any way for the wedding that we could use Christopher Chris's $20,000 that you guys kept?
I hope you have a great day.
Wait, don't go, please. These people are pieces of shit. Fuck the Cotton Club in North Carolina. What pieces of shit The man died before the wedding and you all won't give the money back. I just called. I just said, let's use the money that you took from Chris for my wedding, and then we could make something happen. What a sad group. What a sad group of people. What a sad group. And look, maybe y'all can call them too. I'm gonna put their number on here. Why don't y'all call them and just bombard their ass? Let me put the number on my banner. How could they be that sick? Call this number, y'all. 4984 266 2732. Y'all should call that number. That's the Cotton Club who didn't want to issue these people their 20 grand back. And that's just the right thing to do. Just have some human fucking decency. Could you use the 20,000 maybe to help bury the man or something? Jesus Christ. Shout out to Trucker Ride Along, man. I was in Dallas early this year, man. You missed me. Oh, what a sad thing. Well, we're gonna move right along. I'm gonna leave that number up there. Call the Cotton Club and cuss their ass out. Just call them and keep cussing their ass out till they don't even answer the phone. But we're gonna move right along. The next thing I want to talk about is Tyrese. If y'all heard in the news, the police are looking for Tyrese because his dog, Tyrese's dog, took the life of another dog. So we need to look into this. So he facing a warrant. Tyrese has a warrant on him right now. He's facing a warrant because his dog killed his neighbor's dog. I want to see if they got what are pictures out of this damn dog. So these are some of Tyrese's dogs. Yeah, those are some of his dogs right there. Tyrese has a warrant out of his arrest. His Cane Corso Mastiffs attacked and killed a neighbor's dog. He's in full compliance with the law as he and his legal team clear up the matter. That's the Cane Corso, and this is the little dog that them big ass dogs took the life of. Let me say this, okay? That's a cute little dog. Wait a minute. Is that his dog? Oh my gosh. That's the little puppy that lost their life to them big ass Cane Corsos. Now I'm gonna say this, right? Tyrese, man. Just go over there and pay them people. Go over there and cut them people a bag. Just give them what they want. Because if your ass go to court with that damn Cane Corso versus that little bitty puppy, which is right here. Let me tell you something, bro. This is the dog that them Cane Corsos took out. If you go to court, bro, they gonna take everything, my nigga. Go over there, pay them people, dog. You live in Buckhead. Them white folks ain't playing about them damn dogs. They not. And this wasn't the first time they told you. And I don't understand. Look at that little cute dog. This isn't the first time they told you. I heard them dogs got loose before and they had an issue. So man, listen, when they put the picture up, of that little puppy in that courtroom, and I want y'all to think and act as jurors right now. Okay. I want y'all to think and act as a juror or how you gonna react to that little innocent cocker spaniel getting eaten up by them big ass Cane Corsos. Okay. If you're an attorney, all Tyrese's attorney will be able to do is put his hand on Ty's shoulder because they're going to take everything. So just go get the people the money, bro. And get rid of, I don't understand why people need these big ass dogs. Why does everybody need a big fucking monster of a dog? I'm in the little dogs. Like that would have been my dog. I like a Shih Tzu, a Cocker Spaniel, or a Golden Doodle, like a hypoallergenic dog. You know what I'm saying? I don't want no big ass, vicious looking ass pit bull or no cane corso or my homie got the Borbles. I don't need that, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then I like the dog to be kind of clean, no big ass dog, big 200-pound dog. It's ridiculous, man. So go on, pay them people, Ty. And we're gonna wrap it up there, guys. Listen, man, y'all come check me out. Y'all come check me out. I'm gonna be in Detroit this Friday. Y'all make sure y'all get them tickets. You could either click this QR code right here or go to LeVarWalker.me. Also call that wedding place and tell them people get their money back for that deposit. But listen, I'm LeVar Walker, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm just gonna be on here talking. So y'all call me. Let's go. Detroit. I'm on the way. I'm out. Y'all be good.